So starting around 1920, 1930, basically, like I said, the LSLS bullet, or whatever, stands for Lucifer, Star, Light, um, Shell, basically. And basically, well, like I say, it's three. It's a uranium bar, and then two other pieces of dense metal, basically, that creates a reaction. And basically, it's as if someone took one of these little pieces of metal and basically shoved it through here, all the way through your skull and all the way out the backside. Millions of times, basically. They call it 1,000 needle marks, 1,000 pin marks, the porcupine, the 1,000 paper cuts, bullet, the whatever. But basically, the thermonuclear reaction, like I said, the particles bounce around inside of the container until they finally make exit. People see them in Desert Storm and all over the place. Basically, everything dies within a mile or 3 miles or a couple hundred feet. If they're inside of rooms, if they're inside of cars, if they're inside of just about anything but a hardened metal shell, and even then it can probably penetrate. But basically, pretty much imagine that this little piece of metal being at 1,000 degrees, except it's not this big. It's not this big or long or straight. It's actually a lot smaller. It's just like the size of a particle, about like yay much metal or less, basically. Probably less than that. Just like a little bitty bit of metal, basically. And then it's traveling at like 1,000 miles an hour, and it basically goes, except it's burning red hot, like at 1,000 degrees or 2,000 degrees, and basically it burns its way through your skull, through your brain, out the backside, and then thousands of them all over your body, and basically that's pretty much what it does. After about 5 feet or 1,000 feet, it gets to about 2,000 degrees or so, and then these particles start going out in every direction, 360 degrees. And that's pretty much what was around during Kennedy's time. Basically, Bill Gates has access to them. Bill Gates' dad, Zachary basically was his name. And pretty much there is no space program, there is no nothing, and there's basically just thousands of dead people or hundreds of dead people. One of these people, he can shoot it at a cop or whatever, kills the police officers. Police officer kills the police officer's assistants. Like I said, someone will be driving along on the road. One of these criminals fires off one of these bullets, kills the police officer, goes through the police officer, starts killing, and starts its dispersal pattern, kills the deputy inside the police car. Passerby is driving by, they die too. Kills them, kills everything until it finally burns out, basically. And then the criminal calmly walks back to his car, goes, "Yeah, serves you right, one-man army," puts his gun in, closes the door, drives away. Basically. Like I said, it'll burn through, if you shoot one at a police officer, it'll burn through his body, go out the backside, and then start its dispersal pattern. Kill the deputy in the car, in the police car on the radio, and also kill the people driving by on the freeway. They're 100% lethal within a couple hundred feet, and even thousands of feet away, depending on how big the charge is. So anyway, so that's what's going around between 1930 and 1960 or 1970. And it has everyone running scared because they don't know what it is from. It's basically a German weapon. Not really even a German weapon. It's actually used for space, like I say. They mostly needed it for my exoskeletons, because my exoskeletons have armor that is impenetrable by bullets. And it's the only thing that can actually affect my exoskeletons. Considered an alien weapon. Shell. Anyway, yeah. So that's what Kennedy has. That's what Bill Gates has. That's what the Middle East had. Anyway, they're very deadly. Worse than a nuclear bomb, because a nuclear bomb actually uses up all the material. These things just disperse it out into the world. So anyway, and it radiates whole countries if some stupid idiot has one of these things. Anyway, they use them like weapons. But anyway, it leaves, and you can't really do anything about it. It just makes the whole place radioactive or whatever, because they'll sit there and decay longer. Anyway, whatever. And they're pretty much dangerous and stupid, and lazy man's weapon. So anyway, but they're used a lot in the Middle East and all over the world. Anyway, it's something that can be done with uranium and some other metals. So anyway, yeah. Anyway, if anyone ever says that they're one-man army, it's because they have one of these bullets. Anyway, most people say, "Oh, I'm a one-man army," and people say, "Yeah, right, whatever," and they don't understand what he actually means is he has one of these star bullets, whatever. But they're highly radioactive, and they cause sterility and cancers and all kinds of stuff. And even if you just possess them, they'll kill you eventually. They just kill you a much slower way. So anyway, a bunch of cops get sterile between 1940 and 1960, and they're not really police officers; they're enforcers. And basically, Kennedy, Bill Gates, and eventually somebody puts a stop to them, I think, or something like that, because they're just killing too many people. Because somebody in 2 seconds can decide to use one of these things, and then it causes years of damage afterwards. Like I said, you can't pick up. There's no radiation. There's no metal to pick up. The only way to deal with them is basically just cover them over, dig up all the dirt, and kind of push them into a pile, and then kind of pat it on top and put in new soil that's not contaminated by these things. Because there are billions of little particles, trillions. Anyway. You can go to whole areas and basically go with the Geiger counter or something like that. They call it dirty bomb, but it's not a dirty bomb. It's a LS bullet or whatever. Basically, yeah, like I said, uranium rod, a couple other pieces of radioactive metal, and then a shield. And pretty much that's what it is. That's all it is. Metal fuse. Anyway, yeah, like I said, it starts heating up and it kind of become bulbous and then kind of like, it's like a slow explosion basically, except it's a heat explosion and then it goes. Anyway, it's a big deal. And Bill Gates covered it up, of course, because they were using them along with Kennedy and a bunch of other people. So anyway, yeah, they're out there. The warthogs use them, and the stupid pilots don't really know that what these things are. These things are the porcupine bullets. So they go to do air support over somebody, and they fire the bullets, and basically it kills everyone on the ground all the way up to the target. Kills the target, and a bunch of people on the ground start feeling sick and don't know why. The most friendly fire deaths ever, basically, because nobody understands the bullet, and nobody will tell them, I guess.